What's up, people? Um, One thing about me is when I get comments from people, good or bad, I can guarantee you that I will never display any kind of anger in the comment section or like back and forth in the comment section. Now, if I say something you don't like, I'll explain why it is I said what I said, and I'm not going to like argue or insult you because it's YouTube and I deal with real life stuff every day, and I get trolled in real life. You know, it's this dude at my job who I don't trust. You know, even if he had his hand on the Bible, if he told me something, I don't trust him for nothing. And he's trying to like initiate conversation, but I always just ignore him because he just comes off as one of those guys. But I get trolled in real life, and I don't respond to that. So if I don't respond to trolls in real life, I won't really respond to people who may disagree with me. But I just noticed that I did a video, and this is not like a diss to anybody, but I did a video on Detroit, and in no way was I trying to put down the city of Detroit, but I just said to somebody that there's nothing really worth going there for, and I mean that in the context of if you have a city that's comprised of abandoned buildings, a lot of poverty, a lot of crime. I don't know what their murder rate is annually, but when you have those factors, when you consider those factors in a city, you question why would you want to go there? It's not like I can pack up and just move to Detroit and start a life there, even though housing there is rather cheap. I heard this one lady, she got a house. She purchased a house. Now, she paid the house off with like $3,000, but consider the property tax, and all the other expenses for the house there, because it just wasn't a house. She had to like fix it up, she had to renovate it. And she went like a whole year without heat in Michigan, when it's freaking -5 degrees sometimes. But and this lady is she was in Detroit. I think she lost her baby. She had like she was like a, what do you call it? She was going like door to door offering people like food. She had her own farm or something like that. But when I look at videos and I see the conditions of a city like that, I'm just saying I'm going off what I see, but I'm not putting down. Now, if there are good parts of a city, if there are good parts, that's good too. But I'm going off the majority of what I see. Like I'm from Philly, right? I can acknowledge the fact that Philadelphia is a shithole. It's a shithole city where no one wants to live there. No one wants to move there. The only time someone moves to a city with a lot of crime and violence is if they can afford living downtown, or they're not in the city. They're in the surrounding area, and they're just claiming the city because it sounds cool. But they're nowhere near like the actual city. Like what's the actor's name? I used to work a lot of jobs. That's a true story. I worked a lot of jobs, and I was going to this little like bar. This is when I was doing comedy at one point. I was going to this bar, and it was called Lafayette Lounge, I believe. That wasn't the name of it, but it was like a little bar slash restaurant. It was like Lafayette Hill. I gotta look it up, but it was like a bar and a grill. I caught the bus there, and I really performed there in front of like 5 people, and they laughed at some of my corny ass jokes. But I did not know Terrence Howard had a home in this area 5 minutes away. Lafayette Hill is about 20 minutes from Philadelphia. You catch the bus, maybe like 5-10 minutes away from the city limits of Philly. But Terrence Howard would not bother buying a house in Philly. He bought a house on the outskirts of Philadelphia. And you know, all I'm saying is this. As black people, we love to say how we hate America, we hate this country, they don't treat us right. But you have a lot of love and admiration for your city or your hood, but that's part of the United States. That's somewhere you don't own. You don't. The government owns that city. He owns that block. He owns that state. You just live there. And in some cases, you may not even run anything in that city. But the government is the real gangster in all this. He's the real OG because he's the one that runs that block. He can kick your ass out the house when he wants to. You know, you may can run that gas station, but he runs that street that gas station is on, or where that house is embedded in the ground. He runs all that. So all I'm saying is, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful to no one's city, but let's just acknowledge the fact that a lot of inner cities, a lot of ghettos are not worth really going to, only if you just have like a love to learn about like hood culture. And a lot of people in here do, like Vlad TV, somebody I don't watch no more. If you just have a love for being in the hood and you want to learn about the culture more, that's something that's worth going to. But if you don't see no worth in doing that, don't waste your time going. That's all I'm trying to say.